Hi there, and good morning to everybody, or afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to our second episode of the TradeFi NFT. And I'm going to be chatting to Ashley and finding out from him how our trade is going and what he sees is going to be happening with it. So, yeah, enjoy. And Ashley, over to you and let us know how the trade's doing. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so we're on let me just take us to the daily chart. We'll all start off with the daily chart here quickly so we can see, right, just to do an overview. These two red lines support at the bottom, resistance. This is the falling wedge. We originally entered, as I said in the last video, we did enter right down at the bottom, just above 24,800. I managed to somehow get kicked out of that one. Re-entered again at the 25,576, and we rode that trade all the way up to 100%. And I did send you screenshots of that, so there is that's all been recorded. Then what happened was, Malcolm, as you know, we discussed that if we went over the 100%, I was going to add to that trade. We originally started off with 2,600, which you can see here at our position margin. It's now sitting at $5,600. At the time, we only had 26K in this particular account. And I opened with 10% of that, which gave us a position margin of $2,600. Once we reached 100 when it went over 100%, I then added another $2,500 more or less, just to bring it back to the 10%. Obviously, new money's come in, so we're still sitting now at the moment. The total funding equity in our account is at $47,000, of which 41,000 is investors' money, and the balance is obviously profits, which we can see at $6,500 so far. So not a bad trade at all. Now, okay, so let's get back to the main chart, as we can see. So what happened was, I re-entered here. You can see it says bridge 5, third entry, added funds. We re-entered here, and then obviously it brought our position from 100% down to 50%, because I added basically another $2,500, which brought our entry point up to this area. You can see the entry point that we had before was at 25576, and you see our entry point at the moment is at 26867. And I'm not going to go into full-on lesson here, but it does, Malcolm, it changes the dynamics of the actual trade, liquidation levels, entry levels. It just adjusts for the amount of money that's been put in. Okay, so at the moment, we're sitting at $6,300 in profit. I am in two minds to ride this. I honestly believe, if we go back here to the main chart, and I'm going to go to a smaller time frame. Let's go to the 1 hour and even the 30 minutes. And let's just put things in perspective here. We can see what's happening at the moment. At the moment, we have this resistance has now become support. And you can see now for the past, what is it, since yesterday, late last night, when we saw this move to come and retest the April high, we've seen consolidation at this area around about 29,800 to 30,200. So yes, and you can quite clearly see that there is a buffer zone here. There's this resistance that we need to get through, but you can see it seems like the prices are holding quite decently in between the 29.8 and the 30,400, and all we really need to do is to stay above the 28,800. If Bitcoin can stay above that over the next 20 hours or so, I say that we've got a very, very high chance of it coming to test the April high at 31 1,100 and probably blow through this resistance quite easily to go and even push and go and test up at $32,000. Now, it's all speculation. We know that. But in my opinion, Bitcoin's looking very, very, very strong at the moment. There is a possibility that we could see a retracement, a correction, if I can use that term. And I'm just going to show you at this area here, we've got we do have support here, strong support here as well. And let me just put that in so you guys can see. There is a possibility that we could retrace and have a correction where we see the price basically, we've seen this consolidation and then maybe a pullback and then another push. Personally, I don't think it's going to do that until it breaks this support that we have here. I'm not in the mind that that's just going to happen very easily. I mean, Bitcoin is very strong at the moment. And I think what we're most likely going to see is a bit more consolidation using this area of support as a landing pad, basically, for the price. And then possibly later on today, after the second Fed chair testimonial, which is going to happen in an hour or so, we will probably see another push maybe a bit later on this afternoon, early evening, something similar to yesterday. And then you've got the BlackRock thing that's going on and all the, the ETFs and all of those things. So there's a lot of bullish news, a lot of things happening. And in my opinion, Bitcoin's looking very strong. So if I could quickly, just to end off here, if I take us to our chart, I have put my, you can see our take profit is sitting here at just over 30,000. So I'm going to show you here. If we take profit, where if I close the trade where the take profit is at the moment, our gains are going to be around about $9,000, which is going to make for an excellent trade. We'll close that trade at 161% and $9,000 in profit. And I mean, we're not far away from that, Malcolm. It's really, I mean, it's like a few percent. It's like 2.5%, 3% to reach that target. And if we look at it where we are, it's $1,000 away. Earlier on today, we were sitting there on the 200. So you can say between $600 and $1,000 away from our target of almost $9,000 profit. I did increase our risk a little bit. If I put our worst case scenario, I put my stop loss on that green line there, just a little bit above. And we go and have a look. Worst case scenario, we're going to be closing out at $6,000. I'll make it a little bit higher just to show you. We take profit. Obviously, I'm monitoring it very carefully. You can see there our expected profit will be $6,000. That's worst case scenario. I may, if it comes up, because I'm so confident that we're not going to break this thing. I would rather sacrifice maybe another $500 below in order to gain another $3,000. To me, that is a reasonable risk. I mean, we've just started trading. I mean, we're not going to make millions off the cuff. As long as we can stay in profit consistently, I'm not too bothered about running into the big gains right now. There's going to be a lot of positive things that are going to happen with Bitcoin this year alone. Never mind talking about going into the halving in 2024. Huge opportunities this year for gains. So I'm not too bothered at this stage. And as I said, I'm quite happy to bring it down to, let's say, $5,500, give ourselves a little bit more room to breathe so that I don't get kicked out of this trade. As I said, I'm prepared to sacrifice another $500, even up to $1,000 in order to make another 3 or 4. A lot of talk of it, maybe even going to 40,000. Now, I just want to give you guys an idea of if we did ride this wave to 40,000 and it happened, I just want to show you guys something here, just quickly, what kind of profit we're talking about. So we'll push that to around about 40,000, and we'll go to this year, and it will bring us up to $27,000.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I know, it's crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And we're only trading with a very small amount. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like only $5,500. It's peanuts, man. You know what? We need to, once we get to that stage where I'm trading with like 10, 15, 20 Bitcoin, you guys are going to be falling off your chairs, man. Honestly, it's that insane. But any case, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm just showing
very
you.
much so. It shows what the possibilities are, which I think
exactly. You know, as I said before, this is the beauty of leverage trading, Malcolm. You know, you can take a small amount of money and turn it into a crap load of money very quickly if you know what you're doing. So, yeah, I like to think I know what I'm doing. And yeah, well, that's pretty much about it. There's not much more to say. All we got to do now.
I just want to ask you one quick question. One of the guys, and I just want to make sure my answer was correct. So one of the guys asked that, saying, I hope we got into the trade, and that now that it's gone up, are you going to be putting in a short to catch it down? And my reply was, well, no, we've got to look at the support and first wait and see if it breaks the support and shows it's broken through, and it's confirmed that before we'd even think about a short. So at this stage, it's watching the market. It's not ready. So would that be a fair assessment?
Yes, and if I can maybe add to that, you know, these our guys must understand also, and I say this with the greatest of respect. You know, we're gonna look at, you know, you guys have come to me. I can almost assure you guys that I can make money for your team of investors over time. I'm not in the game of making quick, fast bucks. I'm not bouncing in and out of trades, shorts and longs. I'm not scalping. You understand? And I want you to know, and you know this, Malcolm, but I want your team to understand one thing. I don't just jump into markets. I plan trades very carefully. And there's a lot of that's going to happen before I'm going to just change my stance. At the moment, we're trading a bull. The markets are rallying. I'm not even thinking of shorts right now. If there is a chance for a quick scalp that I can do with small amounts of money, sure, I'll do that. Or if I see a great opportunity, but the reality is we're moving up right now. And when we're moving up, we're not thinking about shorts. You know what I'm saying? So for those guys that are, you know, thinking in that direction, I want people to know that even if I close this trade now, I'm the kind of trader, I'll give the market a few days to settle. And in that time, I will be now planning a new position, whether it's up or down, doesn't matter. I normally take a couple of days to plan my trades very carefully before I just enter the market. Lots of data I need to gather, areas of liquidation, blah, 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 all the rest. I'm not going to go into all the technicals. It's very complicated, but it takes a lot of work. So just so the guys know, I'm not one of those spontaneous traders. I'm not a gambler. I'm not trading with a coin, flipping coins yet. We do everything very carefully. We mitigate our risk. Risk is on the top of the list. And, you know, I will be very careful before I start looking at a short position now. If I do, it will probably be on some, probably on an altcoin. You know, to be honest with you, like some low-level altcoin that's moving pretty quickly. And then I'm going to increase my leverage to maybe, I don't know, 40, 50% leverage, and then use a small amount of money, and then probably make some pretty good gains as well. The guys have got to remember, your team needs to remember, we're going to do this thing. We're going to make a lot of money. I'm going to make a lot of money for you guys, but we're going to do it over time. We're not going to do it in 1 month. Or can I say like one cycle. We're going through a little bit of a push now from the bulls. But just like we see lots of green candles, next month it could be all red candles. And that's how the markets work, you know. So we take it one step at a time. But to your question, Malcolm, you're 100%. We'll get to shorts when the time is right. At the moment, we're looking at long position and possibly even holding this position open for another couple of weeks because we don't know. A lot of talk of the markets going up to 35, maybe even 40K. Let's see what happens.
Ashley, thank you so much for all this information. That's been really great. It's good to see how the markets are moving and getting good understanding of how you get into a trade, and also understanding the work and effort that goes into what you're doing. I'm sure our investors will really appreciate that. And thank you so much for this update. And we look forward to doing the next one.
You're very welcome, Malcolm. And just before you go, if you're looking at the screen at the moment, you can see this is exactly why I'm a little bit careful not to just jump out of this trade too quickly, because you can see we've had a little bit of a pullback, very small, but you can see how strong the market it's holding on this. So I'm going to just, we'll wait. We won't jump out right now, and let's see. I'm sure later on today we're going to come and test up here, and if we do, I will try and record it. In actual fact, I tried to record it last night. I've got a little bit of footage of where it went here, very close. I mean, we came like, I think it was like about $250 away from April's high. And I was hoping it was going to, but I'm actually quite thankful that it didn't. Had it reached there yesterday, it would have closed me out. But I'm going to monitor very carefully, and hopefully we can ride this a little bit higher, because as I said, there's some really good profits to make, and we are in a very strong trade at the moment. So might as well, kind of get the most out of it. But otherwise, then thanks very much. Yes, and we'll chat again later. We'll do another update at a later stage. Keep you guys in the loop.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Ashley. We'll chat later.
Wonderful. Have a nice day. Talk to you later.